Welcome to another NASDAQ update. Okay, so in this video, we're going to go basically talk about the confirmation that we've had to suggest that we are now in a third of a third wave for this market long term to the upside, and that this move is only just getting started. It's only just getting warmed up. Okay, so basically waited a whole week to go deep on this market because we were still waiting for the all-time high. So now that we've seen that, there is no question in my mind that this market has confirmed that there is no more downside and that the only way is up from here. Okay, now we did see our wave E complete wave 2. Okay, as you can see, I've got the blue line there to highlight when the correction started and where it ended. Okay, now that it's ended, how would you trade this up if you were going to trade this up, right? It's a question you should be asking yourself if you want to go long, okay? Now, at this point, there's a couple of things that I can see here that might potentially be what is happening. However, it may look as if this might go up on the chart. However, the correction itself doesn't really look complete. And what I can practically see is the reason why this move looked so strange in the first place to me was because it was only just purely corrective. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't go higher if it's purely corrective. It just means that, same as on the bigger picture, we had a small 1-2 unfolding, right? Now, that doesn't mean that it's over yet, okay? It looks like potentially we have one more move down to retest the potentially the crossover between the 500 and the 1000 period moving averages. Once they converge, I do suspect that we'll get a move back down here to retest this area before it continues higher. So in other words, what I'm trying to say here is I'm going to be putting out some long trade ideas as soon as the time comes to do that. Now, I don't think that time has come just yet, even though what you're looking at on this chart may appear like it's going to keep going higher. I think it would be foolish to assume that markets move up in a straight line. Okay, even if it's wave 3, market still needs to correct a certain amount at the beginning in order to then make its move higher and continue higher and higher and higher and higher, which I believe will happen, no doubt. Okay, but just the way that this move was choppy for wave E, we could see something come back choppy like this, but smaller. Okay, not as big. It's just the way that the lovely patterns work. It's very good, very interesting. Some techniques I would employ here would be, okay, too far back. Hang on a sec. So to me, like I said, this is the beginning of a larger move to the upside. It's not going to be anything that terminates or comes back below this level anytime soon. Okay, you can call it inflation, you can call it hyperinflation, you can call it whatever you want. It's got nothing to do with it. To me, it's just about where do we go from here. Okay, so here we can place this channel as so there, no problem with that. Okay, so if we do that and we move into the 15-minute chart, can you see that there is some interesting things going on with these levels, right? Now the market's basically just broken above that midpoint channel there. However, it's on the hourly, you can see that it's still, it's still trying to process that move to the upside. It hasn't done it yet. It's basically corrective. Okay, it's a corrective break to the upside to indicate the strength and to also confirm that the move is not going any lower. Okay, that's basically what I interpret it as, and there's no other way that I can interpret that particular move. Okay, now if we go over to the Dow Jones, okay, what's the Dow Jones telling me? It's telling me the same thing. Okay, it's telling me the exact same thing. However, the pattern is slightly different. Okay. Now, to me, I have to be careful right here. I think that there may be a discrepancy in the count. Potentially, a relabel will have to go here as such to indicate wave 5 ended back here rather than just about to, right? And the beauty of the NASDAQ analysis, it basically highlights that there is a complete correction and this move is ongoing. So not really a large change. If that were to be the case, it'd be pretty easy to see that there was no overlap between wave 4 and wave 1 and 2. Wave 2 was also drawn out, a bit more drawn out sideways. So the alternation for wave 4 was that it was a basic correction. Okay. So I don't really see much problem there. I do believe this whole move up has been pretty strange, but using pieces of evidence, it just suggests to me that wave I ended up here and wave 2 ended here. Okay, so it was a very shallow correction in this particular case, just looking like so. Okay, so to me that's fine. We have a confirmation of further upside. So to me it's just a matter of basically we broke that high. We've confirmed that wave E, wave 2 is done, and no further downside can possibly occur with this count using RS wave. Okay, now if we're going to look at the internals of the current move, I would dare say that we have a very similar scenario going on here than what we do in the NASDAQ, right? At this stage, to me, it's a little bit of a wait and see approach if we're going to be doing anything with this particular market at this stage in terms of a long position, right? Because we've got the confirmation that we can go long, and you could have a major, huge stop all the way back down here if you really want to. But if you want to shorten the stop and basically wait for an entry, then basically it's going to be like a similar scenario as to the NASDAQ, a bit different at this stage, just due to the complexity of this particular pattern. If we did see that basically this was a complete correction, I would have to see more proof of that. At this point, I cannot, unless we got like a D here coming back for another E, to retest basically the moving averages. Okay, I don't think it's going to go straight up straight away. I do think that it's just confirming that it will be very soon after we get a proper 1-2 pattern formed, which at this point in time I cannot say that I can see a completed 1-2 pattern that's clear as day. Usually it becomes clearer, and when it becomes clearer, by then you can put a long trade position with a very short stop. I mean, yeah, that's all I can say at this point. It's too much. The correction is too expanded, way too expanded for me to think that it is completed. Yeah, and can't make that much good sense out of it. So I would rather not take the risk on this one just yet until there's a proper clear entry, right? Because you can go long on this. Where's your stop at? You know what I mean? Where you put your stop? Where are you going to put your stop? All the way down here. It can come back down again, right? So you might as well trade the 1-2 pattern that is coming, right? So it's too early. That's why I didn't report for a week basically is because I just find that if it is going to show its teeth and say, yeah, look, we're going to continue higher, that doesn't mean that you should initially go straight in straight away. Now, sometimes that's okay if the stop is not terribly far away. Okay, but if it's really far away, yeah, I just think some care needs to be taken there, so you don't wipe yourself out in case you're not a big player. Okay, great. So that's basically it for the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. Basically, with other markets, I'll just post a separate idea for those this week, just so we can get some groundwork done, so then we can proceed with next week's ideas as market updates, all-encompassing update there. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.